I seem to be perfectly dumb.
We're only hours away now from hearing what's officially in this dreaded fifth consecutive austerity budget. But here's what we know already.
I will take a proposal to government, among other tax proposals, to increase VAT from 21% to 23%.
Child benefit, like a whole series of other things, is an item that's up for discussion.
I know that we in health, being one of the biggest spenders, have to take the cuts as well. There is no question, but there's going to be cuts and some closures of community nursing homes. That's inevitable.
There is going to be adjustments in the bands, and there is going to be adjustments in the rate. Obviously, the Minister of Finance has to use some resources from motor taxation.
The contribution in some cases in relation to rents, the contribution for some very highly paid people, they pay PRSI on some earnings and don't pay PRSI on other earnings.
Money, money, money.
There's also a household charge of €100 on the way, and the start was made this week on reducing big pensions. But the reaction in the Dáil was less than welcoming.
So you've taken €1 a day off Mr. Ray Burke in your much heralded fight against high pay.
Supplementary questions.
And you've left former Taoiseach on massive pensions. And out of the other side of your mouth, the government tell the struggling people of this state, cheer up, it's not going to be so bad, take a weekend break.
More cuts will follow for others with pensions, given the hints the Minister for Social Protection has been dropping lately.
There was a proposal in the programme for government that the Minister in a speech there a week or so ago repeated, and that was that her preference was that tax changes would be introduced so that the maximum tax-free pension income would be $60,000 per annum.
The government is going to have to break many election promises in the budget, but that written pledge by the Education Minister not to increase student charges is among the most controversial of them.
We don't control either our chequebook or our policy in relation to a whole range of public items of expenditure. And we have to work within that constraint. And we will do whatever we can to regain that economic sovereignty as quickly as possible.
This image of Rory Quinn may be a sticky one for the government, but they have been warning about this severe cutting budget for some time now.
Certainly there is an air of despair and despondency out there, but I think there is a sense that the government, and really it's been at the insistence of Fine Gael, has effectively hamstrung itself by putting the raising of income tax off the table, and any consideration of the targeting of those who have higher incomes and have significant financial assets. When that is off the table, then of course the inevitable result is that those in lower middle incomes are going to be the hardest hit.
Hitting the highest earners hardest has been a consistent theme of the opposition, and again this week a familiar face in pre-budget discussions insisted that those with most money could still afford to pay far more tax.
Ireland is one of the lowest total tax take countries in the Western world. In the European Union, only 2 or 3, depending on which set of data you're looking at, only 2 or 3 of the European Union's 27 countries takes a lower proportion of its GDP in total tax.
Various tax reliefs dependent on age, they could be changed. There could be changes in relation to the introduction of PRSI on dividend and unearned income, and that would affect retired persons. So there could be various other changes that would affect the post-tax position of retired persons. For example, it's possible health contributions could also be changed. The tax deductibility of health contributions could be changed.
On a week when the tax take for the year was down by €700 million, low growth forecasts by the ESRI were revised downwards, and more people joined the dole queues, are there any grounds for optimism? Well, while one minister was telling us to take a short break, Tourism Ireland predicted that 7.8 million overseas visitors will do just that here next year. The other big hope in government is that people at home might just start spending their savings.
Just because there's a high savings ratio does not mean that there is a huge increase in the amount of money that's sitting in deposits in Irish banks. Of course not. We've actually seen a reduction in the stock of deposits in Irish banks. And what we've actually seen is that people are engaging in deleveraging. They're paying down their mortgage debt, their credit card debt, their personal loans. And of course, they have reduced access to credit card and all those other credit facilities. So I don't think we're going to arrive at a point where households who are still earning an income and who still have a healthy income coming into them, we're not going to see a point where all of a sudden they're going to start spending.
And that's a scenario that even a well-communicated budget over the next 2 days won't be able to gloss over.
It's a rich man's